Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Identity Monogatari. Tonight we're in episode 5 of Hanamonogatari. So, last episode, episode 4, what happened? Let me just get the comments on the screen. You already know. Episode 4 was definitely one of the best episodes of, like, all of Monogatari. Up to this point, I would say. And the biggest revelation, and, like, the most important thing, and honestly probably the climax of this entire arc, has been the revelation that Numachi, who, you know, we've gotten to know through this arc pretty well, is actually dead, and she killed herself 3 years ago. Which is just, wow, like, what a revelation, right? Just, ouch, you know? And so, kind of off of that, right, that recontextualizes all the whole, like, why has Numachi been gathering misery from all these people and, like, alleviating them of their burdens, you know? How does this, there's like a bunch of like mother things you could tie it into, right? Because there's just a chain of events going on there that I'll try to get to in a little bit. And then of course, Kambaru's reaction to that information is very interesting as well, right? Where she immediately, and there's some comments that get into this, so I'll focus in on that in a second, but you know, she immediately just kind of accepts it and then runs, right? Though she's not even running anywhere specifically, she's just running to the point of utter exhaustion, which is, I mean, using like exercise as like a coping mechanism, right? Which, I mean, there's, out of all the coping mechanisms, I mean, that is one of the better ones, I would say, right? But man, like just pushing yourself to like a breaking point because you have no other way to like process that information is just very sad, right? And then of course Araragi shows up. That's my boy right there. And gets her back on her feet, more or less, you know, gets her ready to fight again. Fight for what is kind of a question, you know, because we could say, like, maybe she's going to go try to fight for Numachi in some way. Because, you know, obviously Numachi's out here trying to collect all the parts of all the parts of the devil, right? You know, she got the leg from another was it another Roka or another Numachi? Another Ruka, whatever her name. Hanadori, right? So she got the leg from Hanadori, and then of course she got the arm from Kanbaru, which both had mother things. I'm pretty sure both had mother issues, and then I'm willing to bet that Numachi herself, her family issues were also probably mother issues, because that's kind of, I feel like, a parallel we can draw, or like we can assume, but maybe, I don't know, it is an assumption. So that's the basic where we're at. That's basically where we're at. What am I drinking? Bro, I'm just drinking a water. Okay, let's dig into some of these comments. I really liked this comment specifically. I think it was like maybe even like the first comment. It was one of the very first comments that came out after the episode dropped. And you know what it does for me? It reaffirms kind of the attitude I have towards shows. And this is a little bit of a tangent, so I'll try to keep it short. But like, this bit here of like, I like to think you kind of projected yourself to Kambaru's mood during the watch. And so like, you know, obviously Araragi was like coming in after this horribly sad moment and like just being himself. And that's like it's like, in one way I'm like, bro, like, why are you even here? But in another way, it's like, I'm so glad that he's here because I'm in a vulnerable spot. So having something familiar that's like comfortable is like really helpful, right? And like, but the point from the comment is that, like me watching the show was kind of on, like, I was on the same wavelength emotionally as Kambaru was, right? It's like that immersion aspect where, like, you know, really immersing into the characters, really immersing into the show, and like the attitude. That I think is one of the most important things of any show, any, you know, creative media, whatever, the immersion aspect, to the point of having the characters in yourself, like having your moods kind of, you know, a character you love gets mad, you get mad, right? Character you love is crying, you feel you want to cry too, like that kind of thing. I think that's where like some of the peak moments can really be told, and peak storytelling can really come out, because there's that like really deep connection that's like being drilled in. So yeah, this is like exactly affirming of like one of my philosophies of like watching shows, specifically, of course, like, you know, this is obviously a reaction video, so it's even kind of different than just watching it on your own, and that I feel like that immersion is like a part of doing the show justice. Blah blah blah. I could go on and on about that, but yeah, this like really tied into some of my philosophies with it all, so I appreciate that a lot. I was asking about how Kambadu's parents died, and so this is a quote, and this quote is insane context. Okay, listen. Look, I'll even scoot in too. Okay, we're gonna get comfortable. But wait, how tall am I? Do I have to adjust my? No, it's fine. Okay, sorry, I'm getting started. It's not important. Kambaru, okay, so this is about the monkey paw, right? Her mother had given it to Kambaru 8 years ago when Kambaru was still in 3rd grade. It was apparently the last time Kambaru saw her mother. A few days after Kambaru was given the box, both her parents died in a traffic accident. The timing was so perfect, it was as if her mother had known what was going to happen. Kambaru said it happened while she was in math class at her elementary school. They died instantly in a multiple car pileup on some far-off highway. The car caught fire and the remains were left in an awful state. Kambaru was taken by her grandparents on her father's side. The crazy thing here is, and I mentioned it in the episode when I was unsure of how the mom died, that I thought the mom might have died through suicide, and this could have been a suicide. It would be kind of a double suicide because the dad was also part of it, right? It was both the parents. But I mean, the mom gives Kambaru her box, right? And then a few days later dies in a car accident, right? Which is something that the mom could have orchestrated, as like a suicide. So what I think it was, and that kind of, and the whole like, we do know that the mom maybe had some like mental things going on as well, just because of like, I've been kind of trying to read the monkey paw as like a generational trauma thing. And then also in episode 1 of this arc, we were getting a ton of information on the mom, or like a ton of, it was, the very beginning was a lot about the mom, which, means that the arc's conclusion is probably going to have to do with the mom a lot. That's kind of the way the story structured usually is with Monogatari. And so the mom, back then, it was talking about how like she's both an angel and a devil, right? And so like the dad saw her as an angel, or as a god, maybe was the word they used instead of devil, or instead of angel. So the dad saw her as a god, loved her, all that stuff. But then Kambaru was actually kind of getting the devil part, which could have been like the mental illness part. That was, whatever. So like the dad loved her kind of despite all the mental illness, but Kambaru was actually getting hit with some of those, she's a little kid. She has no idea what's going on. She's just getting hit with like some of those mental illness problems, which then eventually culminated maybe in the mom orchestrating her suicide, and then the dad twisted up in that as well. I feel like that's probably a reasonable assumption to make. And okay, sorry, what just happened is I looked down at my notes, right, and I saw the word aragi, because I was writing some notes before even starting recording, right, while going through the last video, right, because I want to try to connect all the mommy issues. I don't want to say mommy issues. Let's be a bit more respectful, okay? The mother issues. There we go. I was trying to connect all the mother issues to Aragi because, this arc has been a lot about suicide that ties into Shinobu, that ties into Aragi, right? Those are connections I'm very comfortable with. The arc also has mother issues all over it, right? Where we got maybe Numachi having mother issues because she had family issues. That's what Karen mentioned. Or issues at home, I think is how it's phrased. And then Hanadori, like, straight up had mother issues. And that's what the devil represents, right? Or the devil, right? It was the devil leg wanted to go kill the mom. And then the beginning of the arc is Kambaru's mother issues. And then the arm itself was, like, the mother's pain or whatever that was, like, passed down. So, dude, it's like the mom passed down. This is crazy. The mom passed down the monkey paw, and then maybe suicide, right? Killed herself, and then just now, Kambaru got her monkey paw passed away to someone else, and then there's a comment here, right here, that, and I think it's reasonable to say that Kambaru might have been considering suicide after this, right? Based off the OP, based off everything's going on. We have to remember that Kambaru's the one telling this story, so her kind of not specifically saying that she's suicidal would make a lot of sense, right? She would probably not want to just straight up say that. But I think that's an assumption that would be pretty reasonable, that she, to some degree, is suicidal, like by the end of this arc. And so for the mother to have passed the arm down to Kambaru, and then die, maybe through suicide, and then now Kambaru passes the paw down to Numachi unwillingly, and then maybe was approaching death or suicide before Araragi showed up. That could be crazy right there. Which is really horribly sad. Especially like, and I kind of think that the monkey paw thing, you know, I was saying like maybe it's a mental illness thing, and then also like maybe a chain of suicides. So there's kind of a continuation of that maybe the monkey paw itself is, I think I said it in the last episode, a mental illness that frequently leads to suicide. That's like kind of what it represents or what it's about. So yeah, blah 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 blah. Oh, Araragi, right? So all of this, the suicide and then the mother issue stuff, I think maps onto Araragi like super well. At least the suicide definitely does. The mother issue stuff, I'm very confident with as well, because we know that Araragi never talks about his parents. We know that Hanakawa talked to the mom for like 2 seconds, right? Not like 2 seconds. It was like a little bit, right? There was a dialogue with the mom there. And we figured out that the mom and dad were police officers, right? Which I'm still so proud of when I guessed that. That was such a cracked moment. Holy crap. That was like maybe my favorite thing of the show. One of my favorite moments of the entire show. That was so fun. But yeah, so the whole idea that Araragi, his parents are police officers, they've put their idea of justice onto Araragi, right? We see Araragi as a little kid bearing the insect. So like he's super locked into the idea of justice to the point of absurdity, right? Hanakawa bearing the cat is an idea of the absurdity is an example of absurdity, and he was bearing an insect, which is even more absurd. So he's a guy plagued by this justice or whatever. He's in elementary school acting as like a fire sister kind of thing, you know, a carrier out of justice. But then something changes. Maybe he just gets tired of it. Maybe a specific event happens. And then now walking into Kizu, he's lone wolf, right? He's immediately willing to sacrifice himself, self-martyr for homegirl, kiss shot, right? Which honestly, like after this arc, I'm really thinking we've had the discussion before about whether Araragi's suicidal and wants to die, or whether he's just so passionate about justice that he's willing to die for justice. I'm starting to think he wants to die. Because of this arc, because I think all the stuff we're getting is just not a projection, but is an analogy for Araragi's situation that he's not telling us about, right? You know, all these stories of the other characters are like largely reflections of his own character, right? Even if the other characters are the ones telling the story. So, specifically, we know that Araragi, or we can reasonably assume based off the past events, that Araragi has family issues with his parents, on the idea of justice, maybe with them being cops and like projecting it onto him or something like that, and that's led to him getting messed up and getting, you know, all sorts of stuff. And there's a bunch of ambiguity there in exactly what happened, because we've only heard it like second or third hand, you know, but with the focus on mother issues specifically, I'm thinking that Araragi, and with us never seeing Araragi's dad, but just Araragi's mom, I'm thinking that Araragi specifically had an issue with his mother. I think that would be a reasonable thing to say. So that's my kind of culmination of me trying to tie this into Araragi's story. That he had a specific issue with his mom that went wrong. I mean, if you really want to push it, maybe it had to do with suicide too. But that's that's really starting to push the idea there and becoming like kind of insanely speculative. Not insane, but just very speculative. Maybe like he had some sort of crisis and the mother, something happened, or maybe she had some sort of crisis and then he saw that and saw like this person who was supposed to be real and justice, but secretly she's been dealing with, you know, suicidal impulses or something, and then that completely fractured at his foundation his idea of justice, which has gotten him split, and now blah 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 blah, right? Yeah. There was also a line, frick, am I gonna be able to remember where it was? It was in this last episode. It was like, oh come on, please, it was so good. Just one moment. Araragi, mother. I lost it. It was something that completely tied Araragi. Like, there's a connection with Araragi and Numachi. I've talked about this before because in episode 1, Kanbaru was like, when she first saw Numachi, she was like, wow, this is kind of reminds me of Araragi. She straight up said that, and I latched onto that pretty hard because I'm looking for Araragi connections. And now Numachi is a person that has killed herself and surrounds herself with people that are miserable to make herself feel better. What is Araragi doing? He wants to die or at least, that's still got a little bit of a question mark there, but I mean, come on, at this point it's, I can say that let's just say he wants to die. The exact reason for, maybe we could argue about that more, but Araragi wants to die, just like Numachi ended up actually dying, and while Numachi surrounds herself with people that are miserable to gain, to make herself feel better, what is Araragi doing throughout all of Bakemonogatari, right? Coming out of Kizu, where he had all his kiss shot issues, and, where he was confronted with the oddity, the vampire, all of that, the Koyomi vampire, I think the arc was named, right? Something like that. Coming out of that, he goes into Bake, and he starts surrounding himself with a bunch of girls, and girls specifically, with the mother issue stuff, right? All we're helping is girls. We're only helping girls' issues, right? Maybe the mom had some sort of issue and he's trying to help a bunch of these girls to make himself feel better, similar to Numachi. And that's a big speculation projection, but we'll put it on the back shelf that it's a projection of him wanting to help his mom or something. Put that on the shelf. I like the other stuff. I'm really good on the other stuff, but put that part on the shelf, okay? But keep the shelf in mind, okay? This is the shelf, okay? This is the shelf, okay? It's always in the back. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Oh, yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. My notes are so disorganized. Okay. Mother issues, Araragi. There was like a really good line that had to do with Araragi. Maybe I'll see it when I'm scrolling through. Let me look at some of these comments some more. I'm being going off on my own thing a lot. Yeah, definitely the Araragi showing up is similar to him showing up at the end of the Neko Shiro arc. Somebody else said something about this, which I really appreciate right here. In Hanakawa's story, he showed up right at the end like a hero to save her, since that's how she sees him. In Kanbaru's, he shows up at a critical time like the senpai/mentor to give her advice and pull her out of a slump to help her get up and fight. That just reflects Hanakawa and Kanbaru so perfectly, so I really appreciate that. Excuse me. Oh, okay. This I liked. Numachi managed to be 4 kinds of oddity at once. She's a ghost, a devil, an oddity collector, and an urban legend all at once. That is definitely interesting that she's so multi-layered in even how she's been created as an oddity. One thing. It's right here. At one point, I got a little confused on the age thing. What confused me, because I went back and I was looking at it, is she said like right before or right after she graduated, she slit her wrists and died, right? And so I was thinking that she had graduated from high school and then died, because that's just what I assumed by graduating, which of course wouldn't make sense because, she's been dead for 3 years, right? So how could she be dead for 3 years and and was about to graduate high school? That like shifted the entire timeline in my head. But that's not actually what the case is, right? I think she was graduating from her like middle school and going into the high school, right? That's what the graduation was supposed to be, because that would have been like right after the leg thing, right after Kanbaru's. Because yeah, she played against Kanbaru when she was alive, so she was definitely born around the same time as Kanbaru. And then going from graduation from the middle school equivalent to the high school equivalent, that's when she killed herself. Emotions. Blech. Okay. Yeah, so we're good on that. But yeah, that's where I got confused, the graduation thing. So, boom, clarified Pog. And the reason the age stuff is important is because I feel like Kaiki just got me messed up. Kaiki got me putting things on the back shelf. And then Numachi herself, with all the focus on like mother issues, family, I kind of feel like her family might have been relevant, and of course, if her family is relevant, then the time she was born could be a clue into who her family is. But if she's born the same time as Kanbaru, I was kind of trying to think of like, oh, how old is even Kaiki? Because at one point I said like, what if it was Kaiki and his girlfriend or whatever that like was somehow related, like an uncle or something. Uncle, Kanbaru aunt, Gaen, Oshino, uncle. Okay, sorry. just remembering the uncle aunt stuff, because that was an entire thing that we've gone through previously. The little reminder is Gaien is Komburu's aunt, and Ogi or Oshino is Ogi's uncle. That's the important stuff there. So I was kind of thinking maybe Kaiki is somehow connected to Numachi. That could be the case. It's just with Numachi being like, 15-ish, 16-ish. I don't know the exact age of these characters. I think that's, at this point, that's pretty fair. I mean, how old is Kaiki? Probably like low 30s? Is that where he's at? I don't remember exactly. I don't know where the timeline is exactly on the age, but yeah, maybe. It's like maybe a case. I don't know. We'll put that on the shelf. It's not that interesting. Well, it could be a really big deal, but it's not something I feel like I can get into unless it shows up randomly. Okay. The whole running till Komburu passes out, completely nonchalant, barely an emotion, and certainly no sadness. It's just, I think it's her defense mechanism, right? Because her entire thing, or one of her big things that we've seen in this arc... Oh, this is what it was, I think. The Araragi thing. Yes. I remembered. Okay. The Araragi. Okay, it was in the OP. The OP was saying something like, I hide it, my emotions hidden beneath happiness, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, it's different. It was, what was it? Like, Numachi... Oh, yeah, I remember now. I'm locked in, okay? Lock in with me. Karen was telling Komburu that Numachi had a really cheerful exterior, but secretly had family stuff going on. And in the last episode, I was applying that to Komburu, right? Because Komburu has all her mother stuff going on, but then has a really cheery exterior. Guess who also has that? Aragi. Aragi has a cheery, lewd, flip your skirt exterior that he purposefully puts up, I'm willing to bet, and plays up, I'm willing to bet. Especially remember, like when he's telling the story, he's always, that's always such a big part of his character. But then when Komburu's telling the story, he's actually making sure that she's okay with it by texting her and being like, yo, you good with me, with the lewd joke? Sorry, it was just a joke, let me clarify, But like he plays up the whole lewd thing. That's his cheerful exterior to hide his secret, the trauma that's underneath. With Kizu and potentially something to do with his mom from all the justice stuff back when he was younger before Kizu. Bam! That's the connection. That's the Numachi Araragi connection we're looking for. Another one, right? So this arc is like additional insight into Araragi's suicidality, or wanting, I made up that word, desire for suicide, or whatever we want to call it. I think suicide's fair enough at this point, because especially with this arc as additional context, I feel more comfortable with making that using that word choice. And like the manner in which he keeps sane, right? Surrounding himself with people that are worse off than him, or surrounding himself with people with problems to fix those problems. I mean, that's similar to what Numachi's doing. Yada 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 yada. And it's kind of a thing of like, could you say that Araragi's running? I mean, that's what he was doing in Bake. So I'm curious why this arc is here specifically, right? And I feel like that's something I need to see the future arcs to be able to look back on. But in Bake, he was running away from telling us about Kizu and all the context. He was running away from Shinobu, and instead giving us all these random characters, right? Numachi's talking about running away. That's kind of what he was doing. But then Kizu comes in afterwards, and he's saying, no, like, okay, let me actually tell you about my problems. Let me actually address some of this. But he still hasn't told us about his mom. So the guy is so busy telling us about other people that are miserable and how he's been the hero, or at least at this point, he's kind of gone rid of the hero thing because he's, it's gone a lot more complicated. He's talking about like his shadow self with his oddities, becoming the monster, all that kind of stuff. But he's still running away from things in his past, right? I don't know. Numachi's kind of spitting bars. Okay. Oh, this arc is so good. This is such a good arc. This show is so good. This is like, I'm gonna be honest. Let me be honest for a second. I have like loved this show and I've hated this show. I haven't like hated. That's a strong word. I've loved this show and I've been peeved by this show quite a bit. All the lolly stuff, bothered me for a while, and still in some ways bothers me. All the blah blah blah, all the just the intensity of it and like the obscurity of it in a way, where it's like it's kind of eccentric and difficult to parse through, and it's doing all this weird stuff, and then there's a bunch of people that are spitting bars, and I just don't understand it. Like the intellectual complexity of it has also like kind of been like, just be clearer with me, But at this point, it's all coming together, and the show is so good. I guess I don't know where I was going with that. I love the show. Numachi Devil, absorbing the devil. She plans on making the devil an actual part of her, similar to Hanakawa, Black Hanakawa, how she became one with the cat. Or she kind of made it up herself kind of thing, This here, Black Hanakawa being the only case we've seen of this type of thing makes you kind of think twice about whether or not it's a good idea, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm not too confident that it's a good idea at all. For Numachi to absorb the devil. I mean, like, consider, and there's a comment here, Numachi, you were lying. I couldn't run away from this problem. I still feel pain. That is like, by like, Konburu gives, or doesn't give, has her paw, her trauma taken from her, and she's not happy, right? She hears of the suicide, and she is brought so low that she just runs to the point of complete exhaustion because she has nothing else, no other way to cope. She just runs and then collapses, and then you might even see it as like leading up to some sort of suicide attempt, right? I think I kind of like that idea, not the idea of it, but the idea of it existing in the show, not the idea of it itself, right? So I just completely lost my train of thought. Pog. Oh yeah, so the monkey paw, her giving it up, also similar to the mom stuff I was talking about earlier, like, it's not like she's in a better spot, right? She's not happy anymore. I mean, she was happy to have her hand back for a little bit, but then she was like upset when she realized what actually happened, It's like, dude, it's like Numachi is the idea of suicide. Almost similar to how Shinobu is the idea of suicide to Araragi. She's the one seducing him with suicide or whatever. Or wanting to die and kind of trying to get him to go along with it. But Numachi could be like the idea of suicide to Konburu. And so in Konburu giving her trauma, her monkey paw, her mother trauma, her mother issues to Numachi, or having it taken by Numachi rather, it's like the idea of suicide being an escape from the problem, Where, I don't have to, I am no longer burdened with this issue because I'm going to die. So the issue's gone. I'm not going to feel it anymore because I won't feel anything because I'll be dead, right? Yeah. So I kind of think that there is room for that Konburu suicide attempt as being part of the picture. Which is just so sad. But I really like the way this, I've always been I'm so careful in viewing shows that talk about like heavy themes like suicide or all sorts of stuff. Also, all stuff dealing with children, right? Those more vulnerable topics. I have liked how Monogatari has done it a lot. I feel like they've done it with a lot of nuance and a lot of like care and like gentleness, where they make you like love these characters so much, and they're like they feel so human in a lot of ways. Even Shinobu, like the oddity, right? Or Hachikuji or whatever, right? And so for it to kind of be revealed to us that they have these like suicidal, tendencies, it just like that makes me care about them so much. Like I care about them so much, and so for them to be suicidal, I feel like really, as the audience member, puts me into that situation where it feels like somebody I know and somebody I care about is thinking about killing themselves, right? Which is, I think, such an interesting and like beautiful way for the show to like get us there, right? Like to tell us about that. So yeah, that's kind of that stage of enlightenment I was talking about last episode, where like especially just that the ED for some reason has like clicked up like 7 notches in my brain. Just the very first shot of like Shinobu, like in that special studio. What's the name of the studio? I don't freaking know. No, don't play my Land of the Lustrous video. Don't play an ad either. But I could, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I hit a brick wall. I got distracted. Yeah. I just really. Oh yeah, I was talking about the ED, the studio, right? I just love it so much. Okay, continuing. Read this, talked about this. Numachi is described as a poisonous swamp. Swamps are normally stagnant. Kambadu's first name, Suruga, is a province of Japan with a flowing river. I mean, stagnation is death, right? I think that could be this. Like the flowing river, you're alive, you're moving, you're changing. But if you become stagnant, that means you're dead, you're a corpse. Corpses don't move. Yeah. So I think their names themselves could relate to that. I'm also trying to think if there's something else. Also, show me the abs devil, truly a man of culture. I very dimly remember this. I think I was talking about who had good abs. Bro, I don't know. I'm just, okay, abs, I'm down with it. I'm down with abs. I'm just going to put it that way. Okay. Listen, let's lock it in. We have to focus about the show and the themes, okay? Hanamonogatari's theme is time will solve your problem. Both Kambaru and Numachi try hard to solve the problem, and they fail. Kambaru is rejected by Sujigahara and attacked Araragi. Numachi's suicide. Opening is another universe of they give up, solve problem. Kambaru gives up feelings for Sujigahara. Numachi gives up her feelings for basketball. If she gives up, time solves everything, and they might be dating. Yeah, is another universe if they give up solving their problems. That's interesting. Because yeah, there's definitely the theme of time solving the problems. I can agree with that for sure. I don't know whether to see suicide as solving the problem or as running away from the problem. Because I guess suicide could be seen as solving the problem of feeling bad. Taking it into your own hands instead of just trying to wait for it to pass. No, but then that wouldn't be time solving your problem. Yeah, but I definitely I think this part specifically of if they give up, time will solve everything and they might be dating. That I definitely feel locked into. The whole dating thing, it's I see the dating thing currently as flirting with the idea of suicide. So Kambaru is flirting with the idea of suicide through Numachi, because that's kind of what Numachi represents. And in some ways, though Numachi might also be trying to kind of take things upon herself so that other people don't undergo suicide. But there's kind of there's a lot of complexity there. But if they do, or if Kambaru does kill herself, I think that could okay. Erase the whiteboard, redraw. If Kambaru or the Kambaru and Numachi dating that we see in the OP could be an analogy for Kambaru killing herself. That's kind of where I'm at. Which is kind of what this is saying. It's kind of approaching it from a different angle, but to kind of explain that connection. But I do like it. Okay. Great arc. Remember this scene from Gladiator? I've never seen Gladiator, so I had no idea what you're talking about. I did watch this scene, so I got you there. This scene where Numachi's walking through the kind of the fields or whatever. Makes me think of Lord of the Rings. There's a really good quote from Lord of the Rings. Go watch Lord of the Rings. Go watch the entire trilogy extended edition right now. Unless you've already seen it, then just kidding, you still have to watch it. Sorry. Have fun for your next 12 hours. No, Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite shows, or one of my favorite series of fiction. So good. Continuing, name of the OP is Last Day of My Adolescence. True. They flashed that at some point during the OP. Last Day of My Adolescence. I mean, her adolescence, Kambadu's adolescence did kind of suck, right? With the whole her mom thing. So when really was the last day of her adolescence? Maybe it was way younger than we would think. I'll get to this in a second. I just think healthy Araragi is funny. So I say at one point Araragi feels healthy. He probably isn't healthy. I don't think. It's hard to tell because we're getting it from Kambadu's perspective, and he kind of puts up front. He's probably not very healthy mentally at all. But he at least feels like a rock for Kambaru to ground herself with. To prevent her from spiraling, So in that way, he felt healthy in the moment, I think for that reason. But I wouldn't say that he's healthy. Because it's Araragi, right? And I don't think in the next year he'll necessarily have everything figured out. But maybe he will. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. This is some interesting stuff as well. This is about the Hanadori thing. So this here, Hanadori means flower or bird. All right, let's see, flower, bird, and then, because it's Hanadori Roka, right? So flower, bird, tower, flower, and then Numachi Roka is swamp, and then glazed flower. So bird, flower, and then swamp flower. Flower specifically is really cool because that's obviously in the OP with like the Yuri flower. It's crazy. The beginning of this arc was so different than the end of this arc. I was going so hard on all that, the gay stuff. I mean, the gay stuff definitely like is part of it because you could even say that part of the reason that Kamburu's suicidal or going through this mental trauma is not only her mom, but also her relationship with Senjugahara never panning out and then Senjugahara being gone. So she feels very like lonely in her day-to-day life potentially, right? I mean, Ogi's the person she seems to be talking to a lot, and then Higasa's kind of a dick, right? So I think the whole like lesbian love is still part of it in some degree, but like I've kind of moved away from that idea a lot, right? It's just crazy how the arc's developed. Though I still enjoyed rambling about that, even if it didn't really lead where I thought it was going to lead. That's the fun of Monogatari, right? The adventure. Okay. Fascinating that the names have flower in it, seeing that the arc is Hanamonogatari or Flower Story. Didn't actually realize that. Somebody might have said that previously. That's bars. I like it. Scene and imagery used when Numachi is telling the story of Hanadori is pretty weird, where both her and Hanadori are hugging each other in a bird cage. I'm going to rewatch some of that, ho. There's also an interesting theory about Hanadori being Numachi herself. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting. I'm just thinking, like... and then this is kind of what I was already talking about. Just how much is... Shout out to the water. Just how much is embellished / hidden regarding to the tragedy with Numachi in this story that Kambudu is telling us. I wonder. Totally. Especially because I think that Kambudu has a lot of her own emotions that are in a bad spot, right? So she doesn't want to necessarily come clean or be completely transparent with her own emotions because she wants to keep some of those walls up, right? Totally down with that. Hanadori being Numachi, let's keep that idea in mind going when we actually scroll through. So basically Pog. Yeah, let's look at it. Let's look at it a little bit. This show is crazy. Okay. Sorry, I just had to emotionally steel myself for a moment. I've got a couple things. Oh yeah, okay. So first thing I want to do is look at the ED. There's a lyric in the ED I want to point out. I want to give a new idea of, and then we'll do just a normal scroll through. Okay. So ED time. Sorry, I have instructions for myself written down on every beat I want to hit because there's so much going stuff. Oh, I skipped right to it. I feel a pain that nobody can heal. So this is ED, like Kambudu talking, right? And so the idea here is that she might be suicidal, right? So I feel a pain that nobody can heal, like things won't get better, let's say. And then it's in reference to kind of Senjugahara, maybe because Senjugahara's, doing Fortnite dances in this film reel. And excuses only make it worse. Where's the line? Oh, Shaft. That's the name of the studio. Shout out to Shaft. At least if you want to call it a farewell gift. Farewell gift is really worrying phrasing specifically, right? I want our paths to cross again by chance. This kind of makes me think of like a suicidal person wanting to say goodbye and like writing a note where it's like, I want to give you like one last thing before the as like a farewell gift. Like I want to see you one more time before the farewell gift. This, I think, is right here. I will remember my pain until it all fades away. So last time I was saying until it all fades away in reference to the pain, but what if it's in reference to Kambudu being alive, right? I will remember my pain until I die. I think that's what it might be. Which of course is would be a message of Kambudu being suicidal, which is very sad. But like, I will remember my pain. I will be burdened by my pain. I won't be able to solve this issue. Even time won't be able to solve this issue. Only death will be able to solve this issue. That's kind of the impression I get there. Oh, yeah, and then she's looking off into the distance at Shinobu, who like represents so much suicide, and then it fades into blackness, and then these like currents of red. Oh, it's just worrying, man. But yeah, this first shot of the ED, crazy to me specifically. Yeah, come keep clean my room, Adaraki. I got a bunch of yaoi books. Right here. That is like the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This little bit right here, it's like it's spiritually speaking to me right now. And I don't even mean that as like a joke or anything. Like it really, like the style of it, you know, the classic Shaft style, which you know I grew to love in Madoka Magica, and then obviously has been like such a cool part of Monogatari. You know, Shinobu here, and then it's just got such like an art. It's just so artistic. And the music's doing this crazy like thing. I don't know. I have no way to describe it because language itself can't describe the feeling I'm feeling right now from it. I don't think there's a way I could. It just hits so perfectly. So I just wanted to point out that scene specifically. Geez, my dim loneliness abruptly brightened when our two misshapen lights drew closer and closer. Like, if we're seeing the two misshapen lights as her and then Numachi, who represents suicide, then it's like, oh, my loneliness was abated when I considered the idea of suicide. I mean, am I going too hard? I can't tell. The haze from the waterfront. Oh, at one point, this is something I was saying like waterfront was like representative of like, or like I thought the word waterfront might have had to do with like a drastic change. It's watershed. Watershed is like a great like a time of change, not waterfront. So clarification of something I said in episode like 1 or 2. Just because I remember that out of nowhere, right? So yeah, Pog. Okay, let's do a little bit of a scroll through. Oh, Numachi. And I love Numachi. I feel like her character, like her personality kind of has that like slightly condescending or teasing kind of thing where she's always kind of looking down, but it's also kind of like, it's almost like a surrendering, or it kind of feels like she has like a layer of like apathy and she's just kind of given up. Like that personality, or at least that like that mental and like position in that mood is something that like I love, because I feel like I get in a lot of different moods, right? And I've kind of gotten to the point where like I can like I prescribe different like personality traits to each mood, and that's a little bit like kind of crazy for me to be saying, but it's just kind of how I work, I guess. I don't know. But the reason I bring that up is like one of my favorite moods that I like shift into is one of just like I feel like I'm completely apathetic. Like I couldn't care less about anything, but I'm still feeling like pleasant, you know? It's not like a pained apathy, but just kind of like a who cares, like I'm chillin' apathy. And I feel like the personality that I kind of slip into during that mood is very similar to Numachi. So she reminds me of myself, or one of myselves, let's say, to kind of even be referencing Hanakawa, right? Because Hanakawa, end of her arc with the tiger, she said, "Which self will I be today?" or whatever. It's like one of those, right? And that's why that spoke to me so much, because I relate to that too. And so I felt really connected to Numachi this entire time, just because of the way she just like slightly condescendingly, like with kind of that grin or whatever, will like kind of look and talk down on people like that in kind of that like too cool for you way. Yeah. Which made everything, of course, way more painful. Which is good, because why wouldn't it be more painful? I definitely realized that this show was going to be painful when I started it. I didn't. It's not like I just put this show on a poll because somebody said that it was made by Shaft, and then that was the only reason I had to put it on the poll, and then it just won the poll. And then I realized it was 200 or 100 episodes long. No. That's definitely not the case. Okay. Lock in. Shut up. Flick the key away. She said the greatest sin. I want to see the context of this real quick. She's talking about Kaiki, people being bad, but not like wholly bad, you know, that kind of thing. There isn't anything that's evil to everyone. Are you saying that suicide isn't necessarily evil to the right person? Is this supposed to be like that? I can't. Numachi, what are you doing? Are you trying to be an escape for Kanburu's pain through suicide? And that's what taking the paw represents and what this represents? Or are you trying to help people by taking their burdens upon you so that they don't kill themselves? Is Hanadori alive? Is Hanadori alive? That's my question. We'll have to look. Even the worst evil saves something, even the worst evil. Even the worst devil. There are no absolutes. I mean, I definitely agree with her. I like that line. It's a good line. There's no absolutes. I'm down. I just think it's so funny. They got a fight, so they gave each other's phone numbers so that they wouldn't run into each other. Like, neither of them wanted to fight anymore. I also find something besides Kaiki. Spells and oddities. Wait. I found out that oddities exist. Kaiki told her. Whoa, wait. Why would Kaiki tell her that? Kaiki doesn't like sharing information, especially if it's like pivotal, because he doesn't want to be the one to write the story, right? He wants to be more of a passive observer. So why would he tell her oddities? Is that true? Numachi, is that true? I wonder why he did that. Maybe that was just him giving a little piece of information. Because, like, yeah, maybe it was just him giving piecemeal. Right, because then he says he doesn't believe in ghosts or monsters. Oh, of course, yeah, he shared the theory that they exist, not that they act. Okay, yeah, so maybe that's part of the Kaiki guarantee there. Okay, let me skip through a little bit. Okay, right here. She'd gotten pregnant with his child, and of course her parents were very opposed to this. Told her to abort the child, yeah. So she went to a devil for help to get revenge for the mom. Okay, so with Hanadori, this is Hanadori, right? We gotta just be locked in. This is important. How long was it after? Yeah, this is Hanadori. Yeah. So, I'm trying to think, like, man, abortion is such a, like, unexpected thing to bring into all this. I mean, it plays into the mother-daughter kind of thing. They told her to abort it. Especially with a potential life for a child or whatever your stance on abortion is. Not going to get into that because that's an entire can of worms. Fun fact: I've also been I'm in a class right now that we're like studying abortion. So like, I'm so done with abortion. Like just the entire concept. Like I'm abortioned out. Okay, just I've been thinking about it too much recently. Like the laws and all that kind of crap. It's crazy. That aside though, like. Abortion does relate to the mother-child relationship, especially if the mom told her to abort it, which then would have been her like grandchild, right? I just is that just a reason for her to be upset with the mother, or does that like play into some bigger thing? I don't know. And where'd she get her leg from? Her mummified devil leg. The devil decided to help by getting rid of her mother. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Wait. Did Kanburu kill her mom? Through the monkey paw? And she just never told me about it? That would be insane. Whoa, that's an idea, right? Because because Kambaru got the monkey paw, and then within a few days, the mom died in the car wreck. So what if Kambaru got the monkey paw, wished for her mom to die, or wished for something bad to happen to her mom, and then I don't know, she snipped the brake lines or something? Is that an idea? Is that an option? I kind of think it is. Oh my goodness. I gotta walk it off. I gotta walk that one off. Give me just... Woo! Okay. So maybe it's not even suicide as much as it's wanting to kill or hurt your mother. Interesting. I'm not locking into that. I just like the idea, and it could be the case. It's good to mention. I'm not locked into anything. I just think that's a reasonable thing. That, like, maybe Kambaru killed her mom, doesn't know about it, / doesn't want to admit it, / that's what makes her suicidal or something. Who knows? Yeah. Which then, of course, would be like... where perhaps some of her anger with Araragi comes from, because obviously, like, wanting to kill Araragi is a pretty extreme reaction to getting your crush stolen. So, for her to have those unstable things under the surface that maybe comes from, it definitely comes from something to do with the mom. Maybe she killed her mom through the devil in the same way that Higasa tried to, because it's just a crazy coincidence that Higasa tried to kill her mom with the monkey leg, and Kambaru, immediately after getting the monkey leg, within 3 days or a few days, I think it was said, her mom dies. So, Kambaru got the monkey arm. So, yeah, that's definitely a crazy coincidence. Interesting. And I mean, Hanakawa's entire story, a lot of that has to do with hating her parents and, like, neglect from the parents and all that. I mean, and both of these things with Kambaru and even Hanakawa tie into Araragi. They could be reflections of Araragi's relationship with his parents that he hasn't told us about. Dude. Sympathy, right? I wanted to save her. Okay. I know you're not lying. I trust you, Numachi. I really do. Her calling herself a devil kind of makes me sad, too. And, like, all the self-hate talk. Right, and so there was the idea in the comments that Hanadori's like herself, so it's like she wanted to help herself, maybe. Perhaps. Maybe you could even say that the Hanadori, the monkey leg stuff, she had the monkey leg. No, that wouldn't... Well... Yeah, because you can wish on it before it, like, completely takes you over, right? It took, like, a couple wishes. Or, Yeah, because Kambaru wished with the monkey paw and to be fast, right, with the whole track thing. But it didn't, like, take over her arm yet, because then she went to basketball. So perhaps Hanadori is Numachi, and Numachi had made that ask, and then the mom got hurt, and then Numachi self-reflected... Numachi / Hanadori is saying it's the same person, self-reflected, and Numachi was like, dang, I want to help Hanadori, I want to help myself, and get away from these, like, impulses. Yeah, I mean, that'd be such an interesting thing. And, like, the bird, right, Hanadori's name is, like, Bird Flower, right? I think it was that somebody told me that in the comments. So her being in a bird cage here is very, like, specific imagery. They feel trapped, like a pet, unable to fly, lack of freedom. I don't know. I muted on accident. Oh, there we go. Got it. It's okay, I'll take care of your concerns. Like, it's okay, I'll take care of myself. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. Over and over. I wonder if I was crying. It's embarrassing, but I'm sure I was. It's okay. Don't be embarrassed about crying. Crying's okay. Even after she left. She left. She is... I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's just keep going. Oh yeah, how does... Wait, this is about Kaiki, right? Of course, there was nothing I could do, but I decided to meet Kaiki. Kaiki, of course, said, hey, better bring dollar bills, dollar bills. Why are we in like a religious room? There's a cross here. Like a window? Not me trying to analyze the reflection of this light source onto the floor to try to figure out like the hidden story. I mean, there's an apple here, right? Like, is that a... What is that, a Garden of Eden reference? Told me it would cost me. You were so cool. You were. Okay, yeah, and then you got the devil like. Okay. Fight with your kid. Ah, man, that's such... Yeah, okay, so like Numachi when she's leaving says, you know, do all these normal things, get a job, get a boyfriend, get married, raise a kid, fight with your kid. That's the same like mother issues thing. But that's like just a part of the normal human life. What a good shot of her walking away into the sun like that. But it's also, she's walking away into this golden sun. It's kind of angelic, but she also has the devil's paw. Me too, Kambaru. I found this really interesting too, that she just like, she like undresses herself, but is struggling so much to do so because she doesn't have the strength to like get up. It's like a desperate... That's right. I can do anything now. It's like a desperate... Like, she feels so bad, but she's trying to, like, self-inspect and self, like, you know? Because going, like, the nudity thing, I always say, like, nudity, transparency, being able to talk to people. Like, so making yourself nude for yourself would be trying to be open with yourself, question mark. So I can see it as like a... She's in such a bad mental spot, you know? And she's just laying there trying to figure something out, right? Trying to self-introspect, trying to do anything, right? And Karen's like, yo, got your intel. She's dead. Killed herself 3 years ago. This music is so good. I was listening to this song that plays in this section for like 2 hours before I started recording. Of course, we get the family issues in here. Let me get that specific line. She was a really cheerful girl, so no one had any clue. Aragi reference, Kambaru reference, Numachi. It seems she had a lot going on. Yeah. Okay. And then Kambaru looks at me, the audience member, and says, I'll go for a run. You don't have to keep that front up with me, Kambaru. You don't. You don't get it. Listen, I understand on one level you're a character. Right, you're a character in a show. But I still don't want you to feel like you can't talk to me, the audience. Right? This is your story to tell. I don't want you to feel like you can't tell me about those things. I want you to feel like you can be safe in being vulnerable. So to see her hit the lowest point, and then she's telling the story, and she says, well, and then I went on a run. She says it like all cheerfully. It's like, no, I know that's not exactly that's at least not how it felt for you. Maybe that's how you acted because it was like your gut reaction to trauma and your gut reaction to pain is to put up the cheery front, to like hide it, to obfuscate. But I mean, you don't gotta do that with me. You don't gotta do that with me. And then this scene, of course, is just so good. Or this, you know, her running. Green light. Green means go. Dang, she runs for so far. It's just like a... I can feel the frustration. She has all that inner turmoil and like all that pain, and she feels it within her, you know, like the OP where it's like screaming, you know, and the only way she can find to like let it out is through feeling pain physically through the exercise, right? Like the exertion is like some way for her to, you know, at least like my legs hurt, you know. She's like glad that her legs hurt because at least she can feel that hurt. At least that hurt is obvious. Like her legs are physically aching, you know. That's more grounded in reality than my emotions are bothering me. Because your physical aching legs, like you understand that like it's a biological process. You know, I'm familiar with this hoe. But all the mental anguish, like how do I even describe that, right? And for Kombu, I don't think she can. So she just says, I'm just going on a run, you know? It's like making the internal pain external, but not external as in outside of your body, but instead going from inside your emotions to inside your body, right? That's the internal external. It's like the emotions to the body as opposed to something else. That's kind of what it feels like grounding your pain in reality, that kind of thing. I think that's what she's doing through exercise here. Then she thinks back to Senjogahara. And like she's laying in the road. She's laying in the crossroad specifically. I mean, is this like representative of her choice whether to kill herself or not? I mean, being in a road specifically, you know, her mom died in a car wreck, right? So maybe she came to a road and laid down on a road to get hit by a car. I mean, that's a little bit of a stretch maybe, but the whole crossroad thing definitely is real. I'm definitely down with that. Or like this, right, where it gets all bright and she's thinking about how beautiful it was. Like there's that thing I've heard of people that like suicidal people that there's a risk as soon as you start treating them. Because like let's say a person's like really low mental state, they have no energy, they're completely depressed, they're super suicidal. As soon as and like they're suicidal enough that they might even have a plan or something, but they haven't gone through with it yet. As soon as you treat them, you start treating them, and they gain a little bit of confidence, they gain a little bit of like less depression, they get like less depressed, that gives them the energy to carry out the plan potentially, right? That's a risk. So I feel like, I mean, this is like kind of that a little bit where like she's reminiscing all these good things. I mean, it's kind of different. It's kind of different. Because this actually I would maybe say is her accepting death or like flirting with the idea of death, and so she's saying like goodbye to her memories of Senjogahara by like revisiting how beautiful they were as like a farewell gift, right, as per the ED. If I could run like that, wouldn't it be nice? Like if Araragi didn't have his headlights on, listen, if Araragi's headlights were out, Kamburu's dead. Araragi, let me give you a hug. Oh, I love you, Araragi. Coming in so clutch. Bro, car rides are the best place for mental trauma to come out. There was a lot of just like fun dialogue in here. I'm trying to find the crazy parts because honestly, I've been recording for over an hour. I kind of want to watch the actual episode. Okay, this is important enough. He hits her with the almost Oshino line of did something happen. For Oshino, it's did something good happen, right? But he asks. Kombudu remembers. Yep, this is the Araragi I want, or this is the Araragi I know. You've always been unstable. Yeah, she's talking about how lonely she is. That's right. Aww. Araragi and Senjugahara are still together, right? Them being lonely is them both being lonely and being a couple? Question mark. Big question mark there. I mean, probably, but I don't know. I've totally lost sight of what that would be. Like herself. She's lost sight of herself, who she is, who she was. That's interesting. I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, I mean, Araragi's talking about him being lonely. He's definitely not in like a super healthy headspace, I don't think. Maybe everyone plays roles to make them... They want to like them. Go watch... If you like the thing they're talking about of like defining other people or whatever... What was it? Oh, Evangelion. I think Evangelion has some bars on that. I was thinking Lane for a second, Serial Experiments Lane, but I feel like that's more of an Evangelion thing. Yeah. Okay. Wait. That was a bar? Run it back. When you play a role like that, you lose sight of things, and you lose some things altogether by trying to make people like you. I think I've already lost a bunch of stuff. Ooh! And then it cuts to her arm, bro. That micro movement of her thumb. She's referring to her losing her mother trauma, her link to her mother, right? The monkey paw. That's what she's talking about, and she's singing it as if she misses it. Wow. That's a good show don't tell moment right there. Holy crap. I want to do something about this. But I understand that just leaving it alone is the best move. Okay, so let's say... No, sorry. Okay, I want to do something about this, but leaving alone is better. So is doing something about this suicide? Kind of like what that comment was saying, right? Yeah, I mean, it could be. I think that's fair. Or, yeah, doing something about it is suicide, but leaving it alone and staying alive is not suicide. Whereas, like, she wants to do something about it. She wants to kill herself. But she understands that not killing herself would be the best move. Maybe from her experience with Numachi, right? And plus Kombu, or plus Araragi coming in. Because no one's bothered by it. No one's bothered about her doing nothing, but people would be bothered about her killing herself. No matter how miserable, if they're fine with it, I shouldn't interfere. No matter how miserable. Is that like, no matter how miserable I am, if they're fine with it, I shouldn't interfere? Oh boy. Oh no, you're miserable. They're talking about them. If they're enjoying the misery, there's no way that people around them can do anything. Wait, okay, run it all back. Recontextualize. Sorry, we're getting stuck here. Okay, I want to do something about this. But I understand somehow that just leaving alone is the best move. Is this like, okay, is this like the misery with other people's thing then? Okay. Why? Because no one's bothered by it. If they're not, even if they're miserable, as long as they're fine with it, then I'm chilling. So, okay, she's talking about Numachi, because Numachi's the miserable one here. I think, right? If they're enjoying the misery, as Numachi kind of claims, then I can't help her. She has to help herself. Oshino 101. Oshino 101. But you know, Kamadu, what do I know? Saying that no one's bothered by it is a lie. If nothing else, you're bothered by it. Facts. And he's motivating her to fight for her. To fight for Numachi. Shinobu keychain. And that gets everyone bothered about it because you're not alone. We're all feeling lonely, but that doesn't mean we're all alone. Ooh! Those feelings of mine will vanish someday. Time will solve the problems I've bottled up inside me. In what way? Death or just time? That's Numachi's words. That's such a sad line to me. A lot of people told me a lot of things. Numachi, Kaiki, my mother. But that ain't you, Kambaru. You're not that smart. Don't worry about what other people want. But yeah, okay, and then he says like about being real to yourself, right? Being honest with yourself, kind of thing. Being kind of a real fake thing, a little bit there. And even you like that. And then she's locked in, and she sits up. She's done laying down, right? She's laying down on her bed. She's been laying down in the car. She's good. She's there. That's our girl right there. Perfect, Kambaru. Clean my room. Omega lol. Okay, let's jump into the episode, honestly. I say we jump into the episode. Numachi, we're going to go help Numachi. That's the idea, right? Surely. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to predict anything right at this second. We'll just see where... I've thrown out a lot of ideas. Let's just see where things fall. Maybe talk about it during the episode. And hopefully it won't be too miserable. Okay? Episode 5, Hanamonogatari. Let's get going in 3, 2, 1. Bang! The bat was the start of that. Okay. A package. Is it the monkey arm? That would be crazy. Gang gave me this. You don't have to pay me. Use it if you want. Throw it out if you want. Gaen gave me this. So from Kaiki, probably? Okay, that's terrifying and that scared the crap out of me. Okay, cool. Why would you do this? Okay, that's the devil head. What? Oh, so you can talk to Numachi again. Oh, okay. I like that, right? She's going to use that to talk with Numachi again. To try to save Numachi. She's going to go into her dark feelings to try to solve the Numachi suicidal feelings. Instead of just having escaped it for now, she's actually going to fight and deal with it instead of running away. That's the getting the devil face on. Okay, I think that's what we're working with there. And getting swept up in the whirlwind of pain and sadness. I mean, is that like dying, right? Maybe. Yeah, it's like she's hiding... she was hiding her bloodlust with Araragi back in the Suruga monkey. But, like, maybe she's been hiding, like... suicidal tendencies. And now that she's had the chance to again, she's choosing to embrace it through now putting on the devil mask, the devil head, potentially, so that she can talk with Numachi again. I kind of think that's where we're going. Okay. And then she's fighting Numachi on the court. Like, is she fighting, like, those desires on the court? And, like, court, athleticism, the running, like, it's all tied together. She skipped 3 days of school. Okay. Is that Numachi? It is. It is. Kind of like the ED again. Oh, did she not put it on? She just has it? Okay, nice. Oh, it was... Yeah, okay. Confirmed Kaiki's the one. Kaiki's built different. Of course he just had the head. It's my boy. Oh, so that's why he had it originally, way back when he was trying to visit. Okay. Let's just focus on what's in front of us. Wow, using the reflection is cool. Ooh, her shadow self, her shadow self. Wow. You're visible to me. Precisely because you're visible to me, I can't stand looking at you. Just like the Hachikuji stuff. Whoa. What do you mean? You think you're gonna lose? What, are you scared? Good call, good call. I brought a hammer. You have no pride as a basketball player? Oh, you're gonna go all out. Okay. Oh, good. That's good. If Adaragi stood here, he'd think of a bigger ruse. That's funny. The power of suffering. Good question. I like that. The matter of unhappiness aside, Damn. Damn. That's fair. Oh, interesting. I like that. I like that distinction. That's an interesting distinction. Whoa. We're taking off the school outfit. We're, yeah, putting on the jersey. Shake it out, get ready. Okay. Thank you, Kaiki, for the layup with the head. Oh boy. Oh, she has a shoulder too. Oh, the courts are coming out, the empty courts. Or the empty audience stands. Your defense. Woo! One play. No, no, please no. She compared to a soccer penalty shoot kick or something. What's your gambit? Kombaru gotta have some sort of gambit here. I mean, she kind of said ruse. So she's gotta have some random thing she's gonna try to use. Heaven. You're a lot of things. She can't bear to look at her after that heaven remark. Oh, she's struggling. She doesn't even know she's dead. Oh yeah, cause she okay. I was kind of thinking she might have been considering herself as those other oddities, like as like a public thing or whatever. But not. That could be the case. Oh, didn't think about that. Okay. You have to tell her that she's dead? Yeah. Wow. This water stuff's crazy too with their names, right? The swamp and the river. She's what I could have become. Wow. I want to confirm that she is not me. Ooh, this water stage is crazy. True. I mean, she broke her leg right before it, right? Dude, this roof is coming off. Wow. It will ebb and flow. Oh, true. I like that. I like that energy. Dude, the Araki snapshot. Oh no, you can't give her ground. No, it's good. Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. Do it alone. What do you mean? Whoa, wait. What do you mean by that? Oh, that's actually crazy. Is that gonna work? No. I don't want to lose. Wait, we're totally good, right? Easy, right? Rolled and smoked. Rolled and smoked. I feel great. Ah. Oh, wait. Maybe true. She did pass it to her to kind of, yeah, to kind of throw her off guard. Yeah. Oh, good point, good point. Yeah, you got her there. She just said she didn't like it. Oh, she passed it to her to beat her. That was a crazy move. She wasn't alone, right? Yeah. She was excluded in her soccer game too, right? That was a big part of that. Hey, you and me both, comedy. You and me both. Uh, in life, I never really understood what I lost to. Get back on the court, yes. Go be a pro NBA player, WNBA or whatever it's called. Oh, the arm. Hmm. No, yeah, please do. I love good lines. Yeah. That's good though. That means she went to heaven. And she let go of all of it. She accepted the loss. Right. Wow. Oh, there's more? Oh, wow. I thought they were ending it. Good's is jealousy of evil. Oh, from her mom. This is the mom, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it was about a lot of fun, huh? One day I will be grateful to my mother. I don't think I will ever feel the same as her. If you can't be a cure, be a poison. Muddy water, a swamp. Crazy. Clear mud. Wow. Aragi! What's good with you, Aragi? Here to... Oh, of course we're naked. I forgot. I forgot we're in Monogatari. Uh... Wait, flashing bits. Okay. Whoa, Giga Chad, he's ascended. Okay. For both sisters, yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Much too often. Much too often. It's crazy. She, like, gotta talk to her old acquaintance. She gotta talk to her mom. Don't pretend, yeah. No, you wouldn't have, Aragi. You're so humble. New outfit from Comedy. Feed it to Shinobu. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Never even crossed my mind. I don't even care. Just feed it to Shinobu. That's funny. Bake it into a donut. There aren't many people more miserable than you. I'm happier than anyone. Of course. Of course, Aragi. Bro, I'm never making a wish. That would take the fun out of it. Exactly, exactly. I mean, don't... Whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, that's the reason it's such a popular category, right? You like the taboo. You like the taboo of it. Okay. Yes, change the law. No, but what about the law being part of the taboo? The freaking... Is that... What's that? The Pieta? It's the Mary, the thing of Mary holding Jesus. It's a popular. It's a famous statue, right? Or painting or something. Pieta maybe. I like that one. There's value in making the wish itself. Madoka Magica reference. Oh wow, yeah. You learned something about yourself. Oh wow. You speak from experience, Araragi. I know you do. I was gonna say that we're gonna do this. I should have said it out loud. All? That Araragi was gonna cut her hair. I'm so mad I didn't say it out loud. That's okay. Isn't good for sports. Third? Wait. Hmm. I want you to do it. Yeah, I want you to cut it out, Araragi. You're my boy. Going full circle. What kind of... Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet of you to do. I like that. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's a team game anyways, right? So the basketball told us. Woo! Senjugahara, the flower. Wow, that's what's making her think of the yaoi flower or the yuri flower. Right. Some will call you the god, some will call you a devil, right? You just did your thing. Aww. Adorable. She's so cute. Much better. Much better. Good conclusion. No pain. Well, a little bit of pain, but like good ending. Good ending. Not depressing ending. That was really sad for last episode, so I'm glad that we kind of came back, you know. Numachi got to find peace. Kambadu's been able to settle a lot of her stuff, you know, have the chance to like talk to her mom in a way to kind of reconcile some of those emotions. Got to like remember that she's not alone because a lot of this was based in loneliness, right? That's what like the team game with the basketball was all about, right? Where it was just the two of them, but she passes it to her, right? Kamadu passes it to Numachi because neither of them are alone. They have like each other in a way. She had like forgotten it's a team game. Like that's so much good stuff, you know? And then tying it to Senjugahara in the last second with the scissors cutting the hair. Ooh! Mwah! I like it. Yeah, and I do want her to visit her grave. I wonder, I'm a little like the whole Numachi not realizing she's dead thing. They kind of just like, she was fine though. Like she kind of said like a line that made me think she realized she was dead at the end, or she accepted she was dead at the end, right? Perhaps it was more of like an acceptance thing rather than like a literally knowing thing. Okay. Let me make sure. There was a flashing, but I wanted to hit like here. Okay, that's her just being naked. I promise this is not why I'm here. I could have sworn it was in the 1930 era. Right here, right here, right here. See? Always trust me. I'm always correct. Okay. Apparently, when he turned up, my grandma said, sure, just go to her room and wake her up, and waved him straight to my room in bed. Security is direly lacking. True. Oh, man. I forget that this show is so horny sometimes. Wait, this is the Pieta, right? I'm just going to look it up because I want to confirm for myself. Really quick. The Pieta. Yeah, Michelangelo. Yeah, the Pieta from Michelangelo. Christian art depicting the Blessed Virgin Mary cradling the mortal body of Jesus Christ after his descent from the cross. Yeah, so that's that reference. That's one of my favorite statues, and it is a statue here. Definitely one of my favorite statues. For sure, for sure. So that was a cool reference. The cradling thing, I mean, do I really want to make this connection that, like, Araragi was, like, cradling her and comforting her after, like, the trouble she went through? I guess. That's as far as I will push that. Araragi, or Kamadu spits bars. Best thing to do is to do it and not regret it. That was good. This part specifically of her not being alone is I really liked. This was her gambit that I was talking about. You can't play basketball by yourself, right? Because that's what, like, Numachi's all about. You know, she was, like, alone from the soccer stuff. And then she's been gathering suffering and misery upon herself to, like, strengthen herself as an individual. But she, you know, and that makes sense considering, like, where she came from. And then Kanbaru, of course, is, like, I think related to that a lot through Senjugahara and Araragi being gone. But then she reconnects with Araragi, and she kind of remembers, like, oh, yeah, I'm not alone. And even on the court, I'm not alone, because even as my rival, you're here with me. And that's where the move can be made. You can just see the shock in her face. She, like, looks happy, too. You can see her eye, like, the way, like, she's, like, so happily surprised and caught so completely off guard. It's, like, it's actually, I don't know, I love the expression on her face. She catches it, and then she looks down at it like it's never happened before, because she kind of says that it's never happened before. And it completely stun locks her. And then Kambaru, like, does the dunk, you know, the thing that she said she wasn't into, but she just had to pull out all the stops. I don't want to lose. Neither do I. Oh. I thought, dude, for a split second, I thought it was going to be going in the hoop, and then Numachi was going to, like, punch under it, and it'll fly back out or something ridiculous. But no, we just completely rolled and smoked her, which was a wonderful full time. And then it's like a flip of the original situation back, you know, in episode 3 or whatever. Or the last time it was Numachi on top of on top of Kambaru. It's just so sweet. And they start, you know, she doesn't even care anymore about the devil stuff. She's just arguing about the basketball game with her girl, right? Like, it ain't even about any of that anymore. Yeah, and she really looks like she was at peace here. But man, for her to just be gone like that is really sad. In life, there aren't any timeouts. What's the last thing you say, Numachi? I don't want to hear that from you, but I suppose. In life, there are no timeouts. Is that all it was? Yeah, I think it was. She had a lot of parts. Holy crap. She had a rib cage, pelvis, the leg, the hand, and then a shoulder. But you were so quick to leave. Yeah, I mean, it is sad. You may have always wanted to play as part of a team. That was kind of, yeah, the beginning of her thing. And, like, you know, Kambaru wanted to be individually powerful. Numachi wanted to be part of a team. They were, like, envying each other, which tied into the good and evil stuff that they talked about, like, later with the mom. One day I will be grateful to my mother. One day I will understand her feelings. But that day is not today and not anytime soon either. First, I need to outdo her or at least match her achievements. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't think I will ever feel the same as her. Can't be a cure, be a poison. Otherwise, you're just plain old water. Because they're both water, right? Oh wow, because Kambadu's a river, and then Suruga, and then Numachi was a poisonous swamp. Those are both water. I mean, poisonous swamp is poison, I guess. My fault. My fault. But then she says she was water, but muddy water at that. That's what Kamadu said about Numachi here. That girl, yeah. So the whole swamp thing eventually was she was not a cure nor a poison. She was water. I mean, that's kind of even how she acted with when she was getting misery from people. You know, she just accepted it and didn't really do anything about it. She didn't try to help it or try to make it worse. She just was completely neutral, right? There were some flashing bits in here. Oh yeah, just this entire thing. Like as soon as the water comes out, right here. Oh, poor Komodo. This is horrible. This is not what I expected. Numachi does not realize that she is dead. She does not understand that she is a ghost. She's not aware that she herself is an oddity collecting unhappiness. She has forgotten that she killed herself. Is that even possible? It's possible. And then the water starts to show up. I'm sure no one wants to admit they're dead. The angel devil stuff. Numachi is so aloof, likes speaking in an enlightened way, and generally seems like a very strong character. But that in no way means that she would have to be able to accept her own death. The water's just so interesting, right? Because she doesn't accept her death and like position as an oddity, which would be like a devil. Nor does she accept, or nor is she like the cure, because that's like the devil, the poison, right? Nor does she accept the cure of going to heaven. She's like stuck in this limbo where she doesn't believe herself to even be dead in the first place. Right. Which, you know, the water then makes a lot of sense here. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this definitely really tied things together really well for me. It was less painful than I expected it to be, which is a very nice feeling. Because I was stressed about this one. I was stressed about this one for sure. Love seeing my boy Araragi again. It's crazy. He's gone for 2 minutes and I'm like, oh, excuse me, where's Araragi? The cutting the hair, this was really good. I want to rewatch this just a second. He said he cut 3 people's hair, or this is his 3rd haircut, or he cut 3 people's hair? The 3rd time I've cut a girl's hair. Have we seen the first 2? No, right? No for either. I mean, I think Hanakawa cut her own hair, right? Wasn't that was like a thing? So maybe in the next few arcs that we're gonna watch, which are like chronologically before this, maybe he'll cut someone's hair at some point. That could be like a foreshadowing, or maybe I'm forgetting one, or he does something with Senjohara and it's like not even part of those arcs. I don't know. Just an interesting detail to throw in, right? Or it could be I've caused 3 girls to change themselves, right? Or to like I've caused 3 girls to have their hair gets cut as a metaphor for I've caused 3 girls to change, right? So he's used to causing change in the people he meets. You could see it that way. If you wanted to get metaphorical with it. I wanted you to cut it. Aw, it's sweet. My way of ending this. The thing about visiting the grave was very sweet to me as well. This right here, I'll just let it play. I thought I'd go visit Numachi's grave. I'm so sad that Numachi's probably never coming back. I really liked her character. What is that thing? Wait, what was that thing? What is this? Oh, it's a bag with combs in it. I thought this was like either something to do with a motorcycle or like weird leather like bondage gear. No, it's just a bunch of combs and scissors and stuff. Oh my goodness. hair clippers, hairpins, and then I just want to see the shot of him snipping the hair, man. There's no need carrying that burden alone. It's a team game, basketball. You're not alone. Loneliness is what caused a lot of that despair. It's kind of sweet too, like her passing the ball and like reminding Numachi that it's a team game. That almost felt like the relationship in the OP, right? Of them being like close together. It is a little sad that they never, she didn't kiss her as well, right? Because she kind of mentioned that she wanted to. It is very sweet to me. Oh, and then this. Ooh, the reel of memories. That shot's crazy. Senjugahara, the flower, which I think is like the love for her. Right. Because, yeah, she was feeling alone in regards to Senjugahara as well. And probably alone in regards to her mom. Yeah, truly, yeah, an arc about loneliness a lot more. That's kind of a theme that I wasn't really thinking about at all. I mean, a little bit here and there, but like not nearly as much as like such a big part. Ooh, and then the flower sheds a leaf, a petal. Interesting. Just a part of being young. Ooh! All of the flower petals go away. Why do all the flower petals go away? Is that the love? Is that the despair? I mean, the love, right? Or it's just cherry blossoms. I don't know the full I know cherry blossoms are like a big thing, right? I see cherry blossoms a lot, but not sure the full significance of them. I still love the beginning of this ED so much. Man, I really like Shinobu. It's weird. I feel like I like Shinobu more than I should. Is that a weird thing to say? You know? I don't know. I really like Shinobu. Not in like any weird way. Okay, don't you dare clip that. No clipping. But in like a I don't know, in like what she represents kind of way. I really like what she represents. All that broken people stuff. But then of course, wait, okay, so I guess the kind of last thing I want to hit, because I am, what did she say? She said a line of like, in my life or something. In life, I never really understood what I lost to. So yeah, I think she says in life, I think that she's recognizing that she's dead when she says in life. She like admits it to herself, which is part of why she is able to go to heaven. She didn't understand that she had like lost to like teamwork. You could maybe say. In life, there aren't any timeouts. There really aren't. There really aren't. It just keeps going. You never really get the chance. That's why you gotta make your moves. You gotta make your moves. Well, I do think that's all I really got to say about immediately coming out of this Hanamonogatari. Really good arc. Man, I'm just still like, it was such a like giant pitfall last episode, like emotionally. And so coming out of that is both a nice feeling, but also it still feels like I still feel all that negative emotion pretty strongly because it was just such a heavy hit. So it's like bittersweet in that way and kind of leaves me in like more of a melancholy than like a joy. But yeah, definitely a fire episode and a fire arc as a whole. A lot of people are saying like it's a very open to interpretation arc. I would totally agree, especially this last episode, the way it kind of continued off of last episode. It was more, I don't know. There is a lot to interpret there. There's definitely a lot to interpret. So I'm going to be interested in to see what other people are saying about this. And yeah, I mean, loneliness, right? Loneliness is a horrible thing. So it's important to remember that life itself is a team game, you know? No man is an island type behavior. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right. But yeah, that's all I really got, I think, for this episode of Hanamonogatari. On to the next. I don't even know what's next. I'm going to have to look at my freaking list. But on to the next, whatever it is in the second season, I believe. Should be exciting. I'm excited to see where we go. That's all I think I really got for this episode 5 of Hanamonogatari. I'll be seeing you on the next one. Of course, if you like the video, subscribe. If you're new, blah, 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 comment down below if you have anything, or join the Discord and talk to me or other Monogatari fans there. Hit the notification bell as well if you want the little bing, 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 bling, bling, reminders whenever things happen. And yeah, that's all I was. I'll be seeing you on the next episode. Peace.